Hey guys, welcome back. So here we will see that the execution part and how the execution will happen. So as I said, if you try to remember, there was one employee class. An employee class had two fields, name and payment per hour, and it has only one constructor, which is argumented constructor. So through this constructor, this class variable will get initialized by this constructor. Okay, whenever you create the object of this class, and it has one abstract method which is nothing but calculate salary. And how to make the abstract method? You need to use the abstract keyword, so that even though you don't write the implementations for this method, you will not get any compile time error. Whereas if you remove this abstract keyword and when you write the method, you will get a compile time error, because this method is not abstract. So you need to write the implementation part, right? Now there is a getter for that, because you have name and payment per hour. So as you know that since these variables are private, you need to have corresponding public getter and setter, so that you can access from the outside. And I have already taught you how to make getters and setter in Java, right? You can just select these two fields, right click, you can go to the source, you can click on generate getters and setters, and it will get created for you. Right, now look at this calculate salary. As I said, there are two kind of employee in your company, the full-timer and contractor. For the full-timer, the working hours is fixed for 8 hours, whereas for the contractor, the working hours will change. So the salary, the payment will also change based on the working hours. Now we need to have the two kind of implementations for this class. One is for the contractor, right? So for the contractor, when this guy extends employee class, okay? So when you will extend the employee class, let me remove this. So the moment you will extend, employee is the abstract class. So whenever you extend any abstract class, you need to define the implementations part of the unimplemented method. So you just click on here. When you click on here, see the calculate salary will come here by default. You need to write the logic inside that. Okay, so that's what I have designed a calculate salary. Okay, the logic is get the payment per hour into multiply by working hours is nothing but your salary. Okay, now there is one constructor here, the parameterized constructor, which will take three argument. One is the name, one is payment per hour, like what is the payment you are planning to give to the contractor, and then working hours, like how many hours that guy will work. Now the first line is the super calling statement with some argument. Why? Because your parent class will have only parameterized constructor. Okay, so you need to invoke this class. Your child class should invoke that, otherwise you will get a compile time. I will not cover much here because I have already covered in my inheritance chapter. So I will go back, and now look at here. What happens when we don't write? You will get a compile time, as I was saying that, because whenever you have a constructor in the child class, the default one, and your parent class also will have, whenever your child class has any constructor and your parent has only parameterized, your parent will not have the default constructor, then you need to call explicitly. Okay, otherwise you will get a compile time error. Now the second line is the working hours. So the working hours you need to initialize in the contractor class. Why working hours only you have in the contractor class is because for the full timer the working hours is fixed, so you don't need to set the working hours. Okay, and what about this two field? So as you know that whenever you inherit any class, you will acquire the properties of the class. So this two field in the employee will have two fields, right? So this two field, this getters and setters, will be acquired by the child class. This or four methods will get acquired by the child class. So this all four method will be available here. Now there is something called full timer employee. In the full timer, if you look at here, there is no working hours, because working hours is always fixed. What you want is you just want name and payment per hour, like how much payment you want to give. And again you need to call the parent class parameterized constructor by using super calling statement. Here you don't need to use working hours because it is always fixed, and since this is the abstract class, you are extending the abstract class, you need to write the implementations for the unimplemented method, and here the calculate salary will work like this: get payment per hour into 8. So from where this get payment per hour will get called? It will get called from the parent class. The parent class will have the get payment per hour. Now let's test this logic and we'll try to understand. So look at here, you are creating the reference of parent class, an object of child class, which is perfectly fine in the Java, and you are giving the name is equal to test1. Okay, per hour salary is 300, and this guy will work for 4 hours. What is this? This is name, payment per hour, and working hours. Okay, so this is the one. Now on this obj reference, you are calling that calculate salary. This will give you the salary for the contractor. See here, the important point is on this reference you are just calling the calculate salary. Okay, again you are creating the object of full timer. Okay, and the full timer employee will have the name and per hour salary, and you are calling the calculate salary. Now if you look at here, the calculate salary, how this has been designed, right? You don't know as a caller, you are just calling calculate salary here also and calculate salary here also. You are not bother how this calculate salary has been designed inside. You don't know the logic, you are just calling this we call it as a abstraction. You are hiding the implementations part, you are just showing the necessary feature which is required for the client. Now if you run this, in both the cases, though you are calling calculate salary, the output will change, because the way you are calculating the salary will be different for the contractor and it will be different for the full timer. Thank you guys, thank you for watching this. In next video I will cover some more concepts.